Prison relationships between guards and inmates. They've been happening for decades. But in today's world of viral videos and social media, one forbidden encounter can spiral into violence that affects innocent lives.
The way this particular case unfolded really shows how modern technology has changed everything about prison scandals.
Let's break down what happened at HMP Wandsworth Prison. A guard named Linda Duza Abu was caught having sex with inmate Linton Wyrick. And here's where technology comes in. Another prisoner recorded the whole thing on video.
You know what's wild about this? She actually managed to record some of it herself accidentally on her body camera.
The judge's description during sentencing was incredibly detailed. Multiple encounters, various acts, all documented. But here's where social media amplified everything. Suddenly, there were OnlyFans accounts popping up claiming to be her.
So what happened next? I mean, obviously the prison had to do something.
Well, following standard procedure, they transferred Wyrick to Swaleside Prison to remove him from the spotlight. But that's when everything went from scandalous to tragic. While holding his 3-month-old baby during a visit, he was violently attacked.
That detail about the baby just breaks my heart. The infant suffered a skull fracture, right?
Exactly. And according to prison consultants, these kinds of targeted attacks happen more often than you'd think. In fact, studies show that inmates involved in high-profile incidents face a 300% higher risk of assault.
That really makes you think about the whole concept of prison justice and how inmates police themselves.
It's fascinating, actually. In minimum security facilities, inmates might vandalize someone's bunk for not cleaning a microwave. So imagine the response to something that brought international attention and embarrassment to the facility.
The economic impact of these incidents is pretty staggering too, from what I understand.
You're right. Between litigation, medical care, and increased security measures, each major incident costs taxpayers an average of $500,000. And that's not counting the human cost.
Well, that explains why prisons try to keep these incidents quiet.
Speaking of which, here's a shocking statistic. In the US alone, approximately one guard per week is arrested for misconduct. And those are just the cases we know about.
That really puts this whole situation in perspective. It's not just an isolated incident.
Exactly. And now Wyrick's lawyers are pushing for house arrest, arguing that the prison system clearly can't protect him. They've got a pretty strong case. When you can't keep someone safe in a visiting area, that's a serious security failure.
The whole thing really exposes multiple systemic issues, doesn't it?
It does. And here's what's particularly concerning. Experts estimate that for every guard caught in misconduct, there are 3 to 4 cases that go unreported. The system is basically operating on a foundation of unreported incidents and near misses.
That's quite a sobering thought for anyone working in or overseeing these facilities.
And here's the real kicker. Despite all these incidents, prison guard training in the UK averages just 12 weeks, compared to 2 to 3 years in countries like Norway and Germany, where these incidents are much rarer.
So what you're saying is, we're basically setting everyone up for failure.
That's exactly it. The combination of inadequate training, overcrowded facilities, and increased access to technology is creating a perfect storm until we see serious reform in how prisons are run, how guards are trained, and how incidents are handled. We'll keep seeing variations of this same story.
And unfortunately, it's often the innocent bystanders who pay the price.
Like a 3-month-old baby with a skull fracture, a stark reminder that what happens behind prison walls doesn't always stay there. Sometimes it reaches out and affects people who never should have been involved in the first place.